Thank you. So nice to meet you guys. And thank you, Martin, for chairing this session. And thank you, Sarah, for the support. And thank you, everyone, for coming to this session. And my name is Lucy. I work with the Open University of China, Qingdao branch. And today, I want to discuss a crucial topic in education: how teachers view their digital literacy in the era of artificial intelligence. As education embraces technology, teachers need the skills to effectively use AI in online, distance, and digital learning environments. So, my research explores educators' perspectives, their digital literacy in relation to AI. So, we'll dive into existing frameworks and identify potential gaps in their skill sets. So, the core question is, how do teachers perceive their own digital literacy in this context? And what existing gaps can we identify? So our branch at the Open University of China traditionally uses micro lessons for adult learners. Recently, the idea of using AI-powered digital humans in my cruise English listening and speaking class came up. Initially, it felt like a requirement, but the potential for efficiency was very exciting to me. This technology involves capturing my voice and my body data to create a digital human that can mimic my speech and gestures. So basically, it's like a digital Lucy. So it's pretty cool. And this shift means that I'll be involved in lesson planning, script writing, and maybe even managing the technical side of things. And while it eliminates traditional video recording, and learning about the cost raised concerns about intellectual property and teacher compensation. This situation makes you think, are AI teachers a threat or an opportunity? Just like the digital Darwinism suggests, we teachers need to adapt quickly to new technologies to stay relevant, and education is no different. This highlights the need for educators to constantly improve their digital literacy. Integrating new tech requires not only strong content knowledge, but also the ability to use the tools and be aware of potential ethical issues. And let's start with a very big question. Why does literacy matter? Think about it, and education is changing. And after the COVID, we get so used to the online classrooms. But with all this new technology, are the teachers prepared to use it effectively? Here's where digital literacy comes in. It's like a compass helping us navigate the ever-changing world of technology. Okay.
Yeah, let's continue. Thank you so much.
No worries. So, research shows that strong digital literacy is crucial for improving education, tackling economic challenges, and build strong information societies. So, what does digital literacy mean for us educators? And Professor Steve Wilson of Cambridge, who used to be my professor during my visiting at Cambridge, highlights the connection between technology, society, and education. This article posits an intriguing view that ChatGPT as an autopoietic system mediates among individual thinking, the physical world, and society. It functions as both an instrumental tool and a medium for semantic communication. And understanding educational technology through this system's lens shows its potential. With strong digital literacy, teachers can leverage this potential. Teachers with proficient digital literacy are capable of providing one-to-one tutoring, differentiated and personalized education through adaptive content, curricula, and feedback, and adaptive scaffolding in terms of feedback, guidance, recommendation, and other types of help. According to the systemic review by Gomez and Okra, another typical argument is that AI in education can relieve teachers from routine, repetitive, and labor-intensive tasks, allowing them more time for creative work. So I'll continue from the most research focus on literacy now. So the most research on digital literacy focuses on students' end. So but it's the teacher who bridges education with technology. Research on teachers' digital literacy tends to favor science and math teachers in particular, with a lack of evidence from other disciplines, as well as in online, distance, and adult education fields. Open and distance education institutions have long used technology to provide access and expand educational equity. And the digital capabilities of ODE teachers are vital to fulfilling these institutional missions of openness and serving diverse learners. There's an article written by my senior colleague from another branch of OEC stating that the iron triangle of access, cost, and quality is a legacy of open universities. It is true, and with the rapid development of AI technology, OUC teachers are facing unprecedented challenges. So whether to be a digital immigrant or a digital native is our choice. So in the coming presentation, we will explore the concepts of digital literacy and frameworks surrounding it. We will then dive into pilot research on educators' perceptions of digital literacy and their application of AI in education, identifying gaps between research findings and practical realities. Finally, we will offer recommendations for improving educators' digital literacy. This evolution of digital literacy, as depicted in the diagram, start with a very basic definition by Gilster, viewing it as a skill set for accessing and engaging with digital information and internet. And then the concept grows all the way by emphasizing the mastery of ideas, not just the technology itself, indicating a deeper cognitive aspect. And as Dumpney and Hockley introduced the idea of digital literacies as a range of skills and competencies necessary to use technologies effectively, highlighting the importance of social practices and the appropriate use of technology. So finally, the scholars conceptualize digital literacy within the pedagogical frameworks, focusing on its implementation in educational settings and its role in professional growth and pedagogical representation. So what does this evolution tell us? It shows a shift from viewing digital literacy as merely technical competence to a multifaceted pedagogical tool that encompasses critical thinking, social awareness, and educational strategies. When we talk about educational technology and the integration to education, we always remember to refer to this very classic model in this field, the TPAC model, the technological pedagogical content knowledge. Is a framework for the integration of technology in the classroom, and the TPAC framework is a helpful guide to improving students with a high-quality educational experience when technology is incorporated in the classroom. And the TPAC identifies 3 forms of knowledge. First one is technological knowledge. It's knowledge about technology, including thinking about working with technology tools and resources. And the second one is pedagogical knowledge about practices or methods of teaching and learning. And the last one is content knowledge about the content or subject area to be learned or taught. However, the TPAC approach does not view these knowledge areas in isolation. Instead, the framework emphasizes these intersections of these knowledge areas as seen on the Venn diagrams. And in the center of the diagram, you will see the TPAC, which is a model for how to teach with technology. As we teach, we combine our knowledge of the content, basically the material or subject we are teaching, with our knowledge of pedagogy, but how to teach So as technology becomes increasingly common in the classroom, we also have to add our knowledge of technology to this mix, combining the context, pedagogical and technological knowledge. And I think we always need to bear in mind that good technology integration isn't about using the fanciest tool. It's about being aware of the range of options and picking the right strategy or strategies for the lesson at hand. Now that we've explored the history and a key model, let's look at some practical tools. These are the frameworks we've chosen, which is very popular, that outlines the skills and knowledge teachers needed in today's digital world. While each framework differs slightly in focus, target audience, and structure, for instance, the DTPF, which is the Digital Teaching Professional Framework, is designed for teachers and trainers in further education and training sectors, which is quite fit to my own research. And the UNESCO ICT comprehensive framework for teachers had the broadest focus, encompassing technology use across teaching, learning, administration, professional development, and alignment with national priorities. They have different categories for different levels of knowledge and skills, and nevertheless, they all share a common emphasis on effective technology use in education and covering areas such as course creation, assessment, problem solving, and digital content. While these frameworks offer valuable guidance, some limitations warrant consideration. A potential criticism lies in the potential overemphasis on how compared to the why. And this could lead to a focus, the tools themselves potentially neglecting the establishment of clear learning or teaching objectives. Striking on a balance between frameworks with broad applicability and those addressing specific needs can be challenging. Frameworks like the UNESCO ICT Competency Framework for Teachers might be perceived as overly general for certain contexts, and while Digital Teaching Professional Framework might be too narrowly focused on wider application. So a concern exists that these frameworks might be interpreted as overly prescriptive, potentially hindering the creativity and adaptability required for individual teaching styles and needs. So it's crucial for us to emphasize that these frameworks are intended to serve as guiding principles rather than rigid sets of rules. So educators should engage in critical assessment and tailor the frameworks to their unique educational settings and preferred pedagogical approaches. Besides the frameworks, we also dive into the literature that focusing on digital literacy using a new method called lemma. The lemma is a conceptual framework that extends the idea of tetralemma, a tool in Eastern logic used to analyze four possibilities surrounding a proposition. The lemma generalizes this to n possibilities, allowing for a more comprehensive examination of complex relationships and states. And this approach is particularly useful in systems theory and other disciplines for analyzing intricate interrelations. And in this essence, the lemma introduces a systemic way to consider multiple scenarios or states in a given context. For instance, with three categories, we see X, Y, and Z, there would be 2 to the power of 3 equals 8 possibilities, including various intersections and exclusions of these categories. This can be applied to different contexts, such as the relationship between economic, legal, and political systems, where each system can be represented as X, Y, or Z. I use this method to do literature review by employing a matrix-based approach. Researchers can visualize thematics, intersections, and identify potential research gaps. Leveraging these tools, like ChatGPT, can further simplify the matrix construction and analysis, making the NLMA a valuable tool for contemporary researchers. Here, a search was conducted using the Web of Science core collection database, complemented by manual searches to identify relevant articles. The search criteria focus on the articles with the terms digital literacy, educator, and teacher in their titles. Ultimately, the top 30 studies sorted by relevance were selected for in-depth review and were chosen as they are published in high-quality peer-reviewed journals, ensuring the reliability and validity of research findings. So, as we can see in the table, 5 themes were identified from preliminary reading, as shown on top left-hand corner of the table. To achieve a more systemic and thorough analysis of the literature, our goal...
I'm so sorry to interrupt you again. I'm conscious of the time. I know we lost a wee bit of time with some of the technical issues, but we're just looking at how many slides we've still got to go. And we do need to start perhaps speeding things up and coming to some conclusions. And it's actually quite difficult for us to see the content of the slides at the moment. Could you perhaps begin to work towards your conclusion, if that's okay, on your findings?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry for that. Sorry for the time control. And I probably will jump to the findings. So this is what we have found in the literature review. We can see that this indicates either unexplored aspects or emerging trends that's starting to gain academic interest. For example, these combinations might reveal the unique intersections between digital literacy and certain educational settings. So, and as well as some gaps. So the first one, there is a noticeable deficiency in standardized and reliable methods for assessing digital literacy skills. And the second is, while there has been a move towards the critical digital literacy, there is a shortage of empirical studies that scrutinize the real-world impact of these approaches on student learning outcomes. And the third, despite some progress in exploring digital literacy in diverse and underprivileged communities, there's still a substantial gap in comprehensively understanding and addressing the unique challenges inherent in this environment. So, besides this literature review, we also try to carry out a pilot empirical research, and we can see from some of the responses that, for example, this one, the participants realized the ability and knowledge that you need to gain towards digital literacy. And they suggest that digital literacy encompasses both the practical skills to use the digital tools and deeper understanding of their functionality. And it also shows the evolution from Microsoft to ChatGPT, which reflects a phenomenon where technological advancements are rapidly accepted as integrated into everyday use, and often without a deliberate or formal acknowledgement of their transformative impact. And I will demonstrate another example towards the second question. And we can see that people are still using quite like traditional tools for their classroom, like a black or whiteboard. I'm
afraid that the audio is causing us quite a lot of problems, but it seems to me that you've got so much valuable information on your slides. If we've definitely got the latest version, then colleagues in the room can read those at their leisure, and presumably you've got your contact details on there. And perhaps if people do want to follow up, particularly on those gaps, which I think is absolutely fascinating, and the analytical models are very, very interesting. So I'm sorry that we've had these technical issues, but I think we're going to have to draw this to a close now. And thank you for your contribution. And we're sure to be in touch with this. And I'm so sorry we had to curtail it a little bit early. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, that's fine. Let me just go straight to the last slide.
Okay, just show us the last slide then, if that's okay.
Okay, so thank you. And my last sentence will be technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.